Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CHF, your host Odysseus. Now, how am I going to open this one? I'll go with Ridley Scott. Yes, Ridley Scott, the once beloved visionary director, now a disappointment to unimpressed nerds everywhere. But he still boasts an amazing filmography that will go down in cinematic history. And I guess this will, too. Right out the gate, this seems like Ridley Scott's trying to make the Gladiator lightning strike twice. Well, the first time anyway. So let's go on a not-so-holy crusade and watch Kingdom of Heaven. We open with text. Ugh. Listen, filmmakers, apparently I have to address this because no one's learned anything in 80 years! Opening your movie with text is a mistake. It's cheap, it's lazy, and should be only used as a last resort. If you can't tell us this through dialogue or imagery, then you're doing something wrong. Also, it's peasants and lords, not one peasant and lord. Or maybe it's two guys named peasant and lord, and this is some kind of satire. We actually open with some guys burying a dead woman. This is a weird remake to Jumanji.
The devil is a practical man. If she were a witch, she was a poor return on his investments.
Scratch that, it's a remake to The Crucible. So then some knights show up, and Liam Neeson... Ah, crap, I'm behind on my Liam Neeson jokes. Go on, I'll catch up.
You know this place, my lord. Know it? I knew all of it.
Oh, come on, Neeson. That was a great opening for a one-liner. Why'd you let it go? We then meet Orlando Bloom. I'm already working on the Neeson jokes, and I got this. I got my work cut out for me. Also, why are you letting your pregnant wife work the garden while you just stand there? Jerk. So his wife is the dead woman from earlier, and he goes to visit her grave. Also, this is his priest half-brother.
Huh?
I think that you conceive yourself without sin. That is a sin!
Well, it's good to see that the priesthood hasn't changed one bit. So, Bloom's occupation is blacksmith. But he played a blacksmith in the beginning of Pirates of the Caribbean. Do casting agents get that kind of vibe from Bloom? Because this is a blacksmith. This is not.
We shall work.
Whoa, he speaks? 10 minutes in, I thought he had no dialogue. And that possibly could have been better. Do you see where this is going? Also, can someone make a count of how many times Nielsen has had flashbacks in movies? So it turns out that Nielsen is Bloom's father. So the Irish descendant Nielsen is the father of the English descendant Bloom. I've heard of worse. Irish offers to take him to Jerusalem, but English turns him down. Which is pretty logical. I mean, Jerusalem's at the center of a lot of conflict in this time period, and anyone in English's position would want to stay out of it. But this is Hollywood. He's gonna go whether he likes it or not. It's just a matter of what forces him to do so.
I put it delicately. She was a suicide. She is in hell. Though what she does there without a head.
Okay, that might be very hateful, but it doesn't justify stabbing him and burning him to death. I'm just going to assume I'm not supposed to sympathize with anyone and move on.
You come to kill me.
Did he have a reason to kill you?
Pick it up. Let's see what you're made of. His hand is hurt, my lord. I once fought 2 days with an arrow through my testicle.
That wasn't in the script. That actually happened to Nielsen after the premiere of episode... So they start teaching him how to fight, but then some bad dudes show up.
Whoever dies here today, you will certainly be among them.
Is there anything Nielsen can say that doesn't sound dramatic?
There's a flank!
Okay, stop. You cannot be serious. They were just here to arrest him and possibly kill him. Why is there a platoon of guys with crossbows? And why are you killing off the characters now? Some of these guys seem pretty cool. Look at this German guy. He keeps fighting with an arrow in his neck. And this black guy takes just as many hits. Boromir, eat your heart out. But no! Now we're left with the less ethnically interesting characters.
Kill an infidel, the Pope has said is not...
You know, captions are supposed to inform the audience, not force them to look up the wiki article. So we then meet this Ponce, who's the kind of smirking kid that's cheating at poker, even though I totally saw him take that jack up his sleeve and I'm getting off track. Yeah, that could have come earlier, guys. And just look at this beautiful seaside property. Wouldn't you just want to live there? I mean, get over the smelly guys in armor and it'd be great! So Irish is slowly dying and wishes English to serve his king. Which is kind of like an employee telling his carpenter's son that when he dies, he needs to take up his job at the law firm. So English gets the tour, sees the Muslims, and Mr. Ponce.
He will be king in Jerusalem one day.
He'll instate new laws focused on hair gel and a smirking quota. Later, English enters a ceremony where he has to wear a white shirt and he's slapped in the face. Is he entering a Christian BDSM cult? No, he's being knighted. I always thought you had to complete a great task, but what do I know? Irish then gives his final words and keels over. This is gonna make the after party awkward. English sets out to the Holy Land by boat. Must resist Pirates of the Caribbean jokes. And then the boat sinks. It must have been the crap. So the movie's over, so I guess I'll end the review, and no, you overstretched the movie. There's no way that he survived and on shore with the ship. He could have been pulled down by any of that stuff, but no, we still got a movie, don't we? And a horse survives? What a load of horse. So the horse runs off, but he catches it. This is the worst episode of Pokemon ever. So they run into some locals, and...
It's his horse! Why would it be his horse? Because it is on his land! I took this horse from the sea! He says, you are a great liar! And he will fight you because you are a liar. I have no desire to fight!
But we haven't had an action scene in 15 minutes! You have to! So, how can a guy that didn't know how to fight a few scenes ago pull that off? Or maybe he's learning under desperation. Oh god, what I do? Hey, please don't kill me, please don't kill me, please don't kill me, no! Oh god, how did I do that? So, Fancy Pants apparently knew Irish, not that it matters, because dead! Also, that horse will die from blood-transmitted disease. But this guy's pretty fine with it, and he takes him to Nazareth. So the servant wants to be his slave, but he lets him go. He'll be back. In a phenomenally stupid way.
Where is it that Christ was crucified?
But if you walk out there, just watch out for the, unsavory types.
And as the world faces the most serious food shortage in history, perhaps there is a ray of hope. I'm Buck Williams, and I'm standing in a wheat field in the middle of the Israeli desert.
So he just kinda chills out until these goons show up, who are clearly some prideful, amoral thugs who will take him to a palace full of hot women? What are these guys, pimps? No, they're friends of Irish. Talk about inheritance. Then this lady shows up, who is subtle. She drinks some water and then runs off. She'll be back in a less stupid way. So English can't hear God. You might want to upgrade to the celestial phone plan. But no time for that, because we got a hanging to watch. The Marshal? What is this, the Old West? And wait a minute, that's Meanie from Troy! What is this, a reunion? Not really, but we do have Jeremy Irons as the Marshal.
You're your father's son. He was my friend. I'm yours.
Jeez, these interactions are ridiculous. This isn't just an inheritance, it's more like he took his place. From his friendships to his skills. Wouldn't anyone else feel pressured to be treated like a baron in these instant friendships?
What did your father tell you of your obligations?
That I was to be a good knight.
I pray the world and Jerusalem can accommodate such a rarity as a perfect knight.
Well, he said a good night, not a perfect night. Pick a line and stick with it, guys. We then go to dinner to find Subtle is betrothed to Mr. Ponce. But Mr. Ponce sees English and scampers off, all whiny-like. Aw, how cute.
It's unmistakable. I loved your father. And I shall love you.
Okay, seriously, how historically accurate is this? Are you a busy man that's slowly dying? Do you need someone to take up your torch? Well then get the new Bastard Son, with no personality action to do whatever you want. Bastard Son, not available in the US or any country on Earth. We then meet the king, who needs to work on his Eyes Wide Shut cosplay. And yes, this is the Leopard King, Baldwin IV, played by Edward Norton. Now I can't really make a joke whether or not it was good that they covered his face, because... yeah, not that big a deal really. So English tells No Big Deal how to better fortify his fortress. And a blacksmith would know this how? Also, is it just me, or does the mask have eyebrows and a beard? Just why? Was he not feeling masculine?
And from there you will protect the Pilgrim Road. Safeguard in particular the Jews and the Muslims. All are welcome in Jerusalem.
Hey! Did you know that the wiki article for this movie has an entire section dedicated to historical accuracy? And it's 1,000 words long? So English goes to Ibelin, which is the land he's now the ruler of, and he needs to find water. And then he finds it. Drama! And all the children are happy. It's been like 30 minutes since our last action scene. You know, just throwing that out there. Then Subtle shows up and they have dinner together. But they're not cheating! Just making that clear. In the morning, why is that in slow-mo? So the crops start growing and everything's peachy. And then they cheat! Hey, I'm not complaining. At least something interesting happened. Then Mr. Ponce and Meanie show up and they attack a caravan. Well, it's been like 40 minutes, I guess I'll allow it. Though this one doesn't count because they're mostly attacking civilians. What was that? Did this just turn into Fist of the North Star? As you can imagine, this doesn't make people happy. Like, killing civilians is really that bad. You know, I tend to like it when the villain has something resembling a brain cell. There's many ways to start a war, but killing civilians is like a last resort, because it uses up time and resources you could be using for your upcoming war. Just let a rumor or a false letter fall into the opposing side, and while they're preparing or their forces are moving out, attack them while they're unaware. Not killing civilians and giving them time to kick your ass. So they prepare for war and No Big Deal will join them?
I will lead the army.
Because he apparently lives by YOLO. Movie, are you in cahoots with the History Channel? Because I still feel forced to look this up. Then again, maybe not, given how the History Channel has reacted to this movie. So English joins the fun and...
My Lord Reynolds prays you bring your force to Kerak.
Thank you, but no. If we do, these people will die.
Oh, look at English. He's so noble, so heroic, so suicidal. Either that, or he's reenacting a scene from Return of the King. Oh boy, what epic battle! Yeah, it's no contest. Going back a little, this movie's known for having excellent combat sequences. And we get a taste of it here, and it's a little shaky, but it's not bad. It's visceral, but not over the top, and it does showcase some medieval fighting styles. Can you guess who? It's a mystery. Not really. It's the servant from earlier, and he was a noble all along. This makes no sense. In that scene, he was apparently speaking for his servant, and he offered himself as a slave because he killed his servant. Imagine if today was like that. I'm the boss. I just killed your employee! Okay, I guess I'll work for you now. So he lets English go, but No Big Deal arrives with the army. Thanks for taking your time, guys! Not like there were lives on the line! We then meet the Muslim leader, and I admit, he looks kinda badass. He just looks cool with his scarf and the strappings. It's maybe just me. And he's actually a pretty nice guy.
I will send you my physicians.
Assalamu alaikum.
And then No Big Deal beats Meanie, because he's the one that's causing problems. We then go to Badass's camp where he waxed poetic about being prepared, which I can respect. Meanwhile, Mr. Ponce practices on some grapes. Truly a stalwart warrior. And then, whoa. I did not edit that, you guys. That's in the real thing. Maybe the editor was trying to cut it because it's just him banging this woman. Just so you know that cheating is bad when it's done by the villain. Also, Subtle has a son, and Mr. Ponce comes in to be all menacing. And if you're starting to smell the stinky fingerprints of Gladiator, you'd be totally right, and you should probably seek out a doctor. That's not healthy. So No Big Deal wants English to lead his army and marry Subtle if Mr. Ponce dies.
A king may move a man, you said. But the soul belongs to the man.
I wanted to have fake blood, but I couldn't afford it. Moving on, but English turns it down because agreeing to it would lead to Mr. Ponce's execution.
He would be executed.
I would complain, but English is already seeking forgiveness, and putting another death on his conscience wouldn't help. Later,
I have a problem.
You must beware a popular man. Kill him.
yes, take advice from the scruffy man in the cage. That makes sense. No Big Deal passes away, and I had to admit, the music has been pretty good throughout, but it comes to a head here, where it sounds truly angelic and sorrowful. But to help balance out my compliment, a joke. That's not Edward Norton, that's a deadite reject. And then the little boy is crowned king. His reign lasted 1 year. And English is just kind of chilling out. This is God, and I bear a message. You shall free the... Hey! Look, I don't do this a lot, so you need to pay attention.
There's your Moses. I did not hear it speak.
Forget this. I'll just show up in another Ridley Scott movie. But now the young king has leprosy. Second verse, same as the first. As you can imagine, Subtle is not happy.
No kingdom is worth my son alive in hell.
Would a kingdom of heaven suffice? Really, movie? Really? In this political environment, it really could have been anyone. But no, you decided to go for shock value. So English is chilling out again, and he fights off some bad dudes. Oh, I'm sorry, holy dudes. Literally. Then Subtle and Mr. Ponce take the throne. Their reign lasted, who cares?
What answer do you return to Salah ad-Din?
This?
Well, it's all over, folks. He killed the messenger. You can pretty much put all of these guys down as dead. So they're set to attack, but English shows up to tell them that they're all idiots. But they're all idiots, so they go anyway. It's like trying to tell lemmings not to jump off a cliff. You're not gonna get anything out of it, and it might just be better to let it happen. English meets Subtle, and...
Save the people from what I've done.
well, maybe you shouldn't have done it in the first place. So the soldiers start dropping like flies, and they're slaughtered. Lemmings, everybody, give him a round of applause. And look at Badass. He has ice in the desert. That's awesome. And he kills Meanie. Better and better. Okay, we get it, movie. A lot of people died. Moving on. So they have 5 days to prepare, though it should be a bit longer than that with an army this size. So English has a plan, but... the Muslims are coming! The Muslims are coming!
Exactly, my lord bishop.
The fastest horses from a lesser gate.
And the people.
It is unfortunate about the people, but it is God's will.
Yes, it's very unfortunate for the people that God loves. Or at least the people you deem worthy of love. And then English gives a stirring speech about how religion doesn't matter as long as they protect the people.
Defend Jerusalem without knights. We have no knights.
Every man at arms, or capable of bearing them. Kneel!
So apparently anyone can be a knight as long as you happen to be around. And he meant experienced fighters. Pulling this is not gonna make them supermen. And this boy bleeds from a single slap. This is not gonna work in your favor. Whatever, it's a morale thing. Moving on.
My lord? No.
Well, at least that's a nice sentiment. You see, Badass isn't a bad guy. I'm sure that this battle will be fought with honor and respect. From a distance, with catapults. And so begins the Battle of Minas Tirith. Hey, English, why are you checking on the civilians? Get back up there and strategize! Come morning. Hey, it's Mr. Ponce! Well, joke's on you, he does this for fun every Monday. Not that I would know. So the battle officially begins, and it's definitely an interesting one. It comes in stages, starting with catapults, then bow and arrow, and then siege towers. And you know me, I like battles that are long and arduous, with wear and tear on both sides. Yeah, I can be a sucker for that. And there's some pretty good tactics on display, with the use of oil and pulling down towers with rocks. Also, not only is English's hand cut, but Subtle cuts her hair, for some reason, because she's definitely not fooling anyone.
Queen of Jerusalem.
And then Badass sheds a tear for his fallen soldiers. Can we have a story that goes in depth on this guy? I would much rather like to see that. So they get the idea to knock down a weak part of the wall, but it's already been fortified. Not that anyone believes it'll stay.
When this wall comes down.
Come on guys, have some faith in your fortress. Or did you read the script? Also, aren't they a little close to the wall?
If you throw down your arms, your families will die. We can break this army here. Let them come!
And now I know why Legolas was not on speech duty. Now if it were me, I would have cut off all the exits and construct a wall of fire that no one could pass through. But what do I know? Well crap, we're gonna lose that deposit for Middle-earth! So that battle didn't go well, and they discussed terms next morning.
You will destroy your army here and never raise another. I swear to God that to take this city will be the end of you.
If my army will die, so will your city.
So it's your classic rock in a hard place. Neither of them can win, and they'll kill each other in the process.
I will give every soul safe conduct to Christian lands. No one will be harmed. I swear to God.
Then under these terms, I surrender Jerusalem.
That's it? You just surrendered it like that? Well, good to know there was a point to this.
Your brother's kingdom was here. And here.
So basically, the kingdom of heaven is in our hearts. But Mr. Ponce is not happy. Guys, the battle is over. The movie's over. Your ego should be at an all-time low. Just drop it already. I also love how there's no music in this scene, as if the movie's just had enough. And then he spares his life. So the city's occupied, everyone leaves, and English returns home where his blacksmith house didn't completely burn down. Convenient. And then we meet the King of England.
And I am the King of England.
Okay. Thanks for the cameo. And then Subtle shows up and they ride off as the movie ends with text. Nearly 1,000 years later, peace in the kingdom of heaven remains elusive. Did you guys get the message? Did you get the message? Did you? Okay. Good. Now there's two major problems with Kingdom of Heaven, one of which is the historical accuracy. Yes, this is a heavily fictionalized telling of these events, and I could make an entire episode dedicated to that alone. But I don't feel compelled to do so like I did in Troy. Firstly, because that one was fiction, and secondly, everyone's done it. Kingdom of Heaven has become the go-to for when Hollywood strangles history, so I would just be retreading old ground. But the other problem is the theatrical cut. This is the director's cut, which was 194 minutes. The theatrical cut was 144 minutes. And I can see why. The pacing is just awful, with some scenes being entirely unnecessary. This can show how self-indulgent an auteur director can be. But then again, cutting out any scene is missing the point. This is in the spirit of a true epic, in the same vein as Ten Commandments. A story that spans years at a time, with characters coming and going. Add in some great cinematography and you got something to stand amongst giants, though maybe a few feet shorter. In conclusion, if you're a historian, stay far away because you will have a heart attack. For the rest of us, if you like long, expansive movies, go ahead and give it a shot.